Welcome back to MDL Crochet for our stitch tutorial. This stitch that we'll be going over today is the bow stitch. It is a 2-row repeat. You could do this in any number of chains. It is a multi-stitch repeat as well. The simple stitch, the purl stitch, and the elongated purl stitch. And I'll show you how to do all three. Once you get the repeat down, it becomes a very easy stitch to do. Towards the end, I show you how to close the stitch off. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So I have my foundation row pulled up. Now, this is a 3-stitch repeat, but it doesn't really matter for how many stitches you pull up. You don't have to do multiples of 3. It is a multiples of 1. So the first stitch is a purl. If you do not know how to do a purl, I'll put a link right here for you. But a purl is you just put your yarn in front of your needle, go into the loop, drop your yarn, bring it around, yarn over, and pull it up. So the next stitch is you're going to put the yarn in front because we're going to do a elongated purl, and you're going to go through 2 loops on your hook. Drop your yarn, yarn over, and pull it just through 1 loop. That's all you want. And then we're going to do a simple stitch, a purl, an elongated purl. We're going to go through 2, so 1 and 2. Drop your yarn, go ahead and grab it, and you're only pulling it through the 1 loop. And then we're going to do a simple stitch, a single purl, an elongated purl, 1, 2, drop it, yarn over, and pull through just the 1, a simple stitch, a regular purl, an elongated purl, which is going through 2, and only when you're pulling your purl up, you're only going through the 1, a simple stitch, a purl, and since we only have 1 here, we're just going to do a simple stitch. And then our end closure, end stitch, and then your standard return pass, which is chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way down to the end till you only have the 1 loop left on your hook. Alright, so we finished the first row. Now the second row, we start with a purl. Then a simple stitch, a purl, and now we're going to purl 2 together again with the elongated purl. And now we're going to start our repeat. It's a simple stitch, a purl, we'll do an elongated purl, simple stitch, purl, an elongated purl, where we're just coming up with the 1 loop, a simple stitch, a purl, an elongated purl where we're only going, when we pull the loop up, we're only pulling it through 1, and then a simple stitch. And then our end stitch, and then it's a standard return pass, so chain 1, yarn over, and pull through 2. Alright, I'm pulling through the last few right now, and that is the repeat. Now we're going to go do what we did on the very first row. which is our what we did on the foundation row. Now it's going to be a purl, then we're going to do an elongated purl, 2 together, and then just pull up the 1 loop. Then it's a simple stitch, a purl, an elongated purl, where we're just going to pull up through the 1 loop, a simple stitch, a purl, and an elongated purl, which is with 2 together, yarn over, and then just pull it up through 1, a simple stitch, a purl, an elongated purl through 2, and then you're just pulling it through that 1, a simple stitch, a purl, and on our very last, you could do a simple stitch or you could do a purl, however yours lands, or the purl 2 together, and it's end stitch, yarn over, a standard return pass, so yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way down to the end, and then we'll do row 2 of the 2 row repeat again. Alright, now we're on row 2 of the 2 row repeat. Now we start with the purl, a simple stitch, a purl, and then we're going to do the purl 2 together, the elongated purl, yarn over, and just pull through the 1 loop, and then it's the simple stitch, a purl, and then we're going to do 2 together, the elongated purl, and you're only pulling it through the 1, simple stitch, purl, 2 together, purling 2 together but coming up through that last stitch only, simple stitch, a purl, and then purling 2 together but coming out of that last stitch only, and a simple stitch. That's the second row of the 2 row repeat. You can see how things are lining up. Now we're going to go do the return pass, which is chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way down to the end till you only have that 1 loop left on your hook, and we'll do row 1 of the 2 row repeat again. Alright, for row 1 of the 2 row repeat, we do a purl, and then we're doing an elongated purl. We're only coming up with that out of that 1 loop, the very first last loop there, a simple stitch, a purl, and an elongated purl. We're only coming out of that very last stitch, a simple stitch, a purl, an elongated purl, where we just come out of that last stitch, a simple stitch, a purl, an elongated purl, and you just come through that last stitch, a simple stitch, a purl, and since we only have the 1 stitch left here, a simple stitch. And then you can do your end stitch and your standard return pass, chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way down to the end. And we will do row 2 of the 2-row repeat. Alright, for row 2 of the 2-row repeat, we do a purl, simple stitch, purl, an elongated purl, 1, 2, yarn over, drop it, and come out that last loop, simple stitch, purl, an elongated purl where we go through 2, drop it, come back up, and come out of that only the very last stitch of the 2 that you're going through, a simple stitch, a purl, an elongated purl where you're only coming up in that, because you put 2 together and then you just come up just 1, a simple stitch, a purl, and our elongated purl, and we just come up that 1, and a simple stitch. Standard return pass, yarn over, chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way down to the end, and I am going to go off camera and do a few more rows. So there's a few ways we can close this off. Now the way I like is just, if there's a purl, you do a purl slip stitch, which is just pull up your purl and slip it off. Go to the simple stitch, do a simple stitch slip off, purl slip off, and just do that all the way down. That kind of, it keeps this symmetry going of the stitch pattern. So it'll work out really well, and I really do think it's the best way to close this off, because the only other way you could close this off is just a simple stitch close off, and I don't think that would look really good with the stitch pattern. I'm going to go ahead and close this off, weave in my tails, and we'll come back and we'll talk about this stitch. And folks, this is what the bow stitch looks like. It is a multiple row. It is a 2-row repeat with a multiple stitch repeat. The purl, the simple stitch, and the elongated purl. You can see how it gets a little bow aspect from it, from down here, from these longer purls. It has very little vertical or horizontal give. And this is what the back looks like. It could be great in many projects that you have in mind, and it is very simple to do once you understand the 2-row repeat. And if you found this tutorial helpful, please leave me a like and subscribe, and leave me a comment. I will chit chat with you. And as always, folks, keep stitching.